Did you know that you can use the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act to save money on your taxes? Yes, guys, this is true. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of the best strategies that you can implement to use the Inflation Reduction Act to take advantage to save money on your taxes for this year. Please make sure that you stay until the end of this video because I'm going to be going over a very important piece of information about saving money on your taxes with the Inflation Reduction Act that you're not going to want to miss. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, what is the Inflation Reduction Act? The Inflation Reduction Act is a bill that was signed into law by President Joe Biden on August 16th of 2022. As the title of this act suggests, it was designed to help fight inflation, which has been extremely high in recent years. The bill contains a number of changes, including raising the minimum corporate tax rate by 15%, prescription drug price reform, increased IRS funding, and massive climate-related initiatives and funding. Despite the fact that the Inflation Reduction Act was primarily designed to fight inflation, it also has one of the most significant pieces of legislation for the environment of all time. In fact, the bill designated $369 billion worth of funding for energy security and climate change. This is historic. Because the bill was jam-packed with policies that are designed to fight climate change and protect the environment, there are plenty of opportunities for Americans to take advantage of new rebates and clean energy credits. Basically, you can help protect the environment and save money both at the same time, and it becomes a win-win situation for you and a win-win situation for the government. So let me tell you exactly how you can use this Inflation Reduction Act to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. We're going to go over some strategies that you can implement to be able to help save money. All right, strategy number 1, insulation rebates. In the Inflation Reduction Act, there's a section that allows qualifying homeowners to get a rebate of up to $1,600 just for improving the insulation and sealing energy leaks in their homes. If you qualify for this rebate and if you take advantage of it, you can save more money every single month on your utility bills. So just by making some basic improvements to your home's insulation, you could potentially get a $1,600 tax rebate and hundreds or even thousands of dollars in energy savings per year. Due to the fact that you can save so much with this strategy, you should definitely consider taking advantage of it while it's here. After all, wouldn't you like to have thousands of extra dollars in your bank account instead of spending it on unnecessary energy costs? So this is how we can help our environment. Now, the second strategy is leveraging electric vehicle purchases. There are tax credits associated with electric vehicles. Starting in 2023, electric vehicle buyers will be rewarded with a tax credit of $7,500 for buying a new electric vehicle or up to $4,000 for the purchase of a used electric vehicle. Starting in the year of 2024, these credits will actually be issued by car dealers at the time of sale. The cost of electric vehicles has been coming down for years as manufacturers have found ways to keep them more efficient. However, these new tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act will make it even easier for hundreds and thousands of Americans to purchase electric vehicles. Switching to an EV will also enable you to save money by eliminating your gasoline bills, which are usually in the hundreds of dollars per month right now with inflation, which is a regular occurrence for someone who has a regular vehicle. But there is one condition that has to be met in order for people to take advantage of these new electric vehicle tax credits. The electric vehicle must have a final assembly in North America. This will exclude some brands for participating in these new tax credit offerings. So it's important for you to remember, if you're trying to take advantage of the EV credit, you can either take advantage of the $4,000 on a used vehicle or $7,500 on a brand new vehicle. Just make sure that you buy an electric vehicle that has a manufacturer as a final assembly in the United States, North America. Now, electric stove rebates. Here's another one, and probably one that you weren't thinking of me to share. There is an electric stove rebate. Many people are not aware that gas stoves leak methane, a greenhouse gas that contributes to global warming, but they do. In fact, Stanford University study recently uncovered that gas stoves leak significantly amounts of methane even when they're not being used. It is estimated that gas stoves throughout the country contribute as much as 500,000 gas-powered cars.
Turn up the gas.
Because the government is now aware of this, it has created an incentive for people to switch to a more environmentally friendly electric stove. In fact, through the Inflation Reduction Act, the government is now offering rebates of up to $840 for people who have a gas-powered stove and want to upgrade to electric stoves or cooktop or even electric ovens. Now, this is great news if you have an old gas stove and you're ready to get a new upgrade. The government essentially is helping you to buy a better stove that will not emit greenhouse gases. This not only can save you money and help fight climate change, but it can also help you to improve the indoor quality in your home. So This is definitely something that you should look into if you currently have a gas stove that's getting a little bit old in your home. Let's go into strategy number 4, the electric heat pump tax credit and rebate. An electric heat pump is an alternative to both traditional air conditioners and traditional ways of heating your home. So that's right, guys. Electric heat pumps can both heat and cool your home, and it uses significantly less energy overall compared to traditional methods. Because electric heat pumps are more efficient than traditional air conditioners and heating options, the government has included tax credits and rebates for people who decide to switch to the electric pumps. In fact, you can get a $2,000 credit for purchasing an electrical heat pump. Also, low-income households can get a rebate of up to $8,000 for installation. These tax credits, and rebates make it much more feasible for the average person or family to switch to an electric heat pump. So if you want to get into an electric heat pump and you want to save money in the process, then don't forget to take advantage of this tax credit before it's over. Let's go to strategy number 5, solar panel tax credit. I love this one. Many people want to switch to solar power for their homes, but they get overwhelmed by the cost of doing it. It's an expensive cost. The average cost to install a residential rooftop solar powered system is roughly $19,000. So to help people afford to make the switch, the government is offering a tax credit of up to 30% of the cost of switching to a clean energy source such as a solar panel. This means that you can save up to $5,700 by taking advantage of this tax credit if you decide to switch to solar energy for your home's energy needs. By switching to solar energy, you will also save hundreds of thousands of dollars per year on your energy costs every single year. Plus, solar energy is a clean and renewable source of energy. So you would also be helping to fight climate change and to protect the environment at the exact same time. If you are already thinking about switching to solar energy and getting solar panels installed on your rooftops or for some of your investment properties, then now could be the perfect time, since you might be able to capitalize on the new solar panel credit and be able to take advantage of it with the Inflation Reduction Act. Also, if you're thinking about taking advantage of solar panel tax credits, then you should be aware that the solar panel generates average energy savings of $10,000 to $30,000 in their lifetimes. That's huge savings when you're thinking about it. So this could be very beneficial for you to make the switch. Now, strategy number 6, heat pump dryer rebates. A heat pump dryer is a type of clothing dryer that is very popular in Europe, but it appears that the United States government is trying to make them more popular here as well by offering rebates for them. These dryers are an alternative to traditional clothing dryers. They're significantly more energy efficient than traditional dryers that you might be used to. Unlike with normal dryers that are heavily used in the United States, heat pump dryers send moist air through an evaporator and then it recircles the dry air. This results in them using about half of the electricity that normal dryers use. So heat pump dryers do take significantly longer to dry the clothes, but because they use electricity, you can significantly reduce the amount of money on your electric bill. Another benefit of heat pump dryers is that they are actually better for your clothes. This is because heat pump dryers recycle the hot air and do not heat new air continuously. So not having to heat the new air continuously results in a gentle drying process, which can lead to less wear and tear on your clothes and make them last longer. Now, the Inflation Reduction Act includes a rebate of up to $840 for qualifying people who upgrade from the traditional tumble dryer to a heat pump dryer. Let's go into the next strategy, the breaker box upgrade. If you want to upgrade your breaker box to help prepare for an electrical home, the Inflation Reduction Act also has a rebate for this. Upgrading your breaker boxes are significantly more energy efficient than outdated ones. So upgrading your old and outdated breaker box and installing one that is new and more energy efficient is going to be good for the environment. So if you make the switch to a new and improved breaker box, and if you meet all of the criteria, then you can qualify for a rebate of up to $4,000 when you want to make the switch. This is a huge rebate, okay? Because it's not that hard to switch out a breaker box, okay? This rebate can make it much more feasible for you to update your breaker box. Once it's updated, you can continue to save money every single month from the increased energy efficiency. So this is one that I would absolutely do if you're a homeowner. Now, let's jump into the next credit, door replacement tax credits. In many homes, doors that do not fit correctly or that are not energy efficient causes the homeowner to have to spend more in energy costs than he or she would have had to if it was a good fitting door, an energy efficient door there instead. So for this reason, the Inflation Reduction Act includes tax credits for replacing like ill-fitting or energy inefficient doors. These tax credits are $250 for every exterior door that you replace in your home. However, there's a limit of $500 in tax credits for this upgrade. So there's really a limit to 2 doors. So you will only be able to upgrade 2 of your exterior doors if you want to take advantage of this tax credit. Let's go into the next tax credit, electric wiring rebates. The Inflation Reduction Act includes a rebate of $2,600 for electric wiring upgrades for homes that are becoming high-efficiency electric homes. What this means is high-efficiency electric homes use electricity more efficiently and thus contribute less to global warming. Now, before moving forward with this rebate, you should speak with an electrician to determine whether or not your home would be a good candidate for this wiring upgrade. Now, let's jump to the next tax credit. How about windows? Can we get a tax credit for having energy efficient windows? I mean, we talked about doors. You can get a tax credit for up to $600 for energy efficient exterior windows, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. Energy efficient exterior windows help to keep warm air in your home when it's cool outside and keep warm air outside of your home when it's hot outside. Having energy efficient exterior windows in your home can not only help you to be more comfortable year in and year out, but the average household saves between $100 to $500 in energy costs per year by installing energy efficient exterior windows. So over the course of a decade, you could save like $1,000 to $5,000 in energy costs in addition to getting the $600 tax credit just by installing the energy efficient windows. Now, what else should you know about this Inflation Reduction Act? There's been a lot of random tax credits that we've been talking about, but now that you know the Inflation Reduction Act can save you some money from a wide variety of these tax credits, you might be interested in learning more about this bill. So let's talk about some of the other points that this bill was trying to get across. There's an $80 billion spending increase for the IRS over the next 10 months. Did I say that correct? 80 billion. Yes. Okay. Making sure we're all here today. Okay. We're all here. As a part of the funding changes that are included in the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRS will get a funding increase of $80 billion over the next 10 years. Of this 80 billion, 45.6 billion is designated for the enforcement of the IRS. The IRS will use this funding to hire, they're going to use this funding to train, and they're going to get new army of agents to be able to audit you. At this time, we don't know exactly how many agents that the IRS will hire, but some estimate around 85 to 87,000 new employees. Now, it is unlikely that the IRS will hire that many agents. I'm just going to be honest with you, but it's very likely that the IRS will start increasing the amount of audits it conducts every single year as it continues to add agents and teach them how to actually do these audits. This means that in the coming years, it's going to be significantly more critical to make sure that your taxes are done correctly and that there are no errors or omissions on your tax returns, because the chances of them being discovered will be much higher now. What else is in the Inflation Reduction Act, Karlton? Well, there's a $64 billion Affordable Care Act extension. The Inflation Reduction Act extended premium subsidies to help the Affordable Care Act health insurance plans. $64 billion has been designated for this purpose. The subsidies were scheduled to expire at the end of 2022, but the government has decided to extend these subsidies for another 3 years. So they're going to go on until 2025. It is estimated that in the 33 states that use the Affordable Care Act's federal health insurance marketplace, premiums for enrollees would have been 53% higher if not for this change. So in other words, the Affordable Care Act extension that is occurring as a result of the Inflation Reduction Act is going to prevent many people from having to pay significantly more for their health insurance. Now, at this time, we don't know if it's going to continue beyond 2025. However, it is clear that the government is going to spend $64 billion over the next 3 years to keep the subsidies going. Now, this is good news for you if you currently have the Affordable Care Act health insurance plan. However, if you don't have one of these plans, just be aware that in 3 years' time, if another extension is not given for the subsidies, then you could end up having to pay significantly higher premiums. We just don't know yet. So if possible, you should try to start budgeting for this just in case of the Affordable Care Act subsidies are not extended. So question I have for you guys, will the Inflation Reduction Act actually help the environment and people? It is estimated that by incentivizing people to switch to clean energy and energy efficient options for their homes, and by investing in climate change fighting programs and initiatives, that the Inflation Reduction Act will bring America on track to decrease its greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2023 compared to its emissions in 2005. Cutting greenhouse gas emissions is not only better for our air quality, but is also expected to reduce many of the so-called social costs of climate change. Social costs refer to things like negative health impacts such as premature deaths, expensive property damage due to things like rising sea levels, reducing costs related to increasing temperatures. It is estimated that the Inflation Reduction Act could reduce the social costs of climate change by up to $1.9 trillion by the year of 2050. If the real number is anywhere close to this amount, then that is going to be astronomically amazing for the United States. Here's the golden nugget that I wanted to tell you guys. My golden nugget of information about the Inflation Reduction Act is that it is projected that the new law's residential tax credits alone could save more than 100 million households, $37 billion a year total, on their new energy bills. This means that the bill has the potential to help people to save an incredible amount of money. Some people hesitate to make upgrades to their homes to improve energy efficiency, either because they don't feel like making the effort, or because they think that the savings will be insignificant or that the environment impact will not be that big. But this bill actually provides very good financial incentive to start upgrading your home or your vehicle. Just think about it, guys. The government is literally helping you to afford energy efficient upgrades that would help you to improve your home and save money over the long term. So this is things that we have to take into consideration. Therefore, you should strongly consider trying to take advantage of at least some of these rebates and some of these tax credits. All of them might not be right for you and your family, but there's a good chance that at least some of these will be for your tax returns. Now, that's pretty much all of the updates I wanted to cover for this video. Hopefully you found a lot of insight into the Inflation Reduction Act on how to save money. Many people are still questioning whether or not the Inflation Reduction Act will actually be able to reduce inflation in any meaningful way. However, it does appear that the environmental part of the bill can help both American taxpayers and the entire environment as a whole. If you have any questions about how to use the Inflation Reduction Act to save money, then feel free to get in touch with my team by clicking on the links below to schedule a free consultation. You can book a call to speak with one of my representatives and chat with them about your tax situation if you're a business owner that's doing over 100K. You can also find a link to my course, Tax Alchemy, in which I teach people how to leverage the United States tax code to save substantial amounts of money year over year. I have tons of people who are already 100% tax-free inside of Tax Alchemy simply just by following directions. Many of the strategies I teach in the course are strategies that the wealthy use every single year to minimize their tax obligations legally. Now, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to take advantage of the rebates and the tax credits offered by the Inflation Reduction Act. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know what it is. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Over and out.